Hello everyone, this is JuLa the host of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, an all new cooking show coming soon. Well, here's what's on my lunch menu today. I am preparing some black-eyed peas, no salt added, heart healthy, has never tasted so good. I've added some Italian seasonings, salt-free, lots of fresh Italian herbs. I've added 5 small bay leaves. Let's see if I can find a bay leaf in this pot. I'm sure that it is here somewhere hidden. There we go. Bay leaves. I've added some crushed red pepper, lots of fresh ground garlic powder because I am Creole, and I've added some fresh ground cumin. Over to my left, I am boiling some Goya black beans. I'm going to be make a Cuban black soup. What I like to do is to boil my beans for 3 hours. Do not cover the pots, okay? When you cover your pots, you risk your pot boiling over and you will have a very, very messy stove. So in about 3 hours, I will come back and I will check on the beans and I will tell you what I'm going to be doing next. Keep it right here on JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good. We're back. These black-eyed peas are coming to a beautiful boil right now. This is exactly what I'm looking for. As far as the amount of water that you should put in your pot, I would say for 1 pound of black-eyed peas, you want to fill the pot. Let me show you the size of the pot. It's a pretty big pot. You'd want to fill it up until the water stops, till right about here. And that's pretty much 2 inches from reaching the top. Over here, I have the black beans that are boiling. This is going to be for black bean soup today. And it's doing what it needs to do. If you notice, I have not put any seasonings because the individual that I'm preparing these beans for is on a drug called Coumadin. And whenever you are taking Coumadin, which is a blood thinner, you can only have up to 90 micrograms of vitamin K in your diet per day. Otherwise, the blood thinning drug stops working. So, I'm going to be right back with more of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Heart healthy has never tasted so good. This is my teaser, folks. We're back. These black-eyed peas are coming to a beautiful boil right now. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. As far as the amount of water that you should put in your pot, I would say for 1 pound of black-eyed peas, you'd want to fill the pot. Let me show you the size of the pot. It's a pretty big pot. You'd want to fill it up until the water stops, till right about here. And that's pretty much 2 inches from reaching the top. Over here, I have the black beans that are boiling. This is going to be for black bean soup today. It's doing what it needs to do. If you notice, I have not put any seasonings because the individual that I'm preparing these beans for is on a drug called Coumadin. And whenever you are taking Coumadin, which is a blood thinner, you can only have up to 90 micrograms of vitamin K in your diet per day. Otherwise, the blood thinning drug stops working. So, I'm going to be right back with more of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Heart healthy has never tasted so good. This is my teaser, folks. Hello everyone, this is JuLa the host of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, an all new cooking show coming soon. Well, here's what's on my lunch menu today. I am preparing some black-eyed peas, no salt added, heart healthy has never tasted so good. I've added some Italian seasonings, salt-free, lots of fresh Italian herbs. I've added 5 small bay leaves. Let's see if I can find a bay leaf in this pot. I'm sure that it is here somewhere hidden. There we go. Bay leaves. I've added some crushed red pepper, lots of fresh ground garlic powder because I am Creole. And I've added some fresh ground cumin. Over to my left, I am boiling some Goya, black beans. I'm going to be making a Cuban black soup. What I like to do is to boil my beans for 3 hours. Do not cover the pots, okay? When you cover your pots, you risk your pot boiling over and you will have a very, very messy stove. So in about 3 hours, I will come back and I will check on the beans and I will tell you what I'm going to be doing next. Keep it right here on JuLa Can't Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good. We're back. These black-eyed peas are coming to beautiful boils right now. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. As far as the amount of water that you should put in your pot, I would say for 1 pound of black-eyed peas, you'd want to fill the pot. Let me show you the size of the pot. It's a pretty big pot. You'd want to fill it up until the water stops, until right about here. And that's pretty much 2 inches from reaching the top. Over here, I have the black beans that are boiling. This is going to be for black bean soup today. And it's doing what it needs to do. If you notice, I have not put any seasonings because the individual that I'm preparing these beans for is on a drug called Cuban. And whenever you are taking Cuban, which is a blood thinner, you can only have up to 90 micrograms of vitamin K in your diet per day. Otherwise, the blood thinning drug stops working. So, I'm going to be right back with more of JuLa Can't Cook New Orleans. Heart healthy has never tasted so good. This is my teaser, folks. It's time for me to check on the beans. Over here I have the black-eyed peas under a wonderful boil. Very, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Someone just inboxed me wanting to know if you have to soak the beans before you put them in a pot with water being added in your seasonings. In my opinion, I think it's optional. Some people believe that the only way the beans, whether they're red beans or black-eyed peas or any kind of beans, can bust faster is by soaking them first. I don't think so. What I typically do, I rinse my beans. Oh God, look at this. They're cooking down very nicely. I rinse my beans and then I put them in hot water and I add all the seasonings. I put them in hot water, add all my seasonings, then I put it on the stove and turn the burner on. So it's really optional. Over here to the left, I have the Cuban black beans that are boiling. And if you notice, the water is boiling down, but the beans are still hard. So what you have to do is you have to add more water. So I'm going to be adding more water, and don't be afraid. I promise you it's not going to be all mushy. It will not be mushy unless you want them to be. In this instance, I am going to be making a black bean soup. And the black beans have not even begun to bust yet. And if you notice right here, I'm boiling them on a pretty high heat, as well as my black-eyed peas. As I said earlier, do not cover your pot. Do not cover your pots until it starts to simmer, until it's ready to simmer. I'm gonna be right back with more of JuLa Can't Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good, and you are watching my teaser. This is JuLa Dupree. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. It is time for me to check on the black-eyed peas. And as you can see, they're cooking down very, very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. I have not added any black pepper. Today I'm going to be using white pepper. And I'm going to add some right now. I do not want to use any black pepper. And I kind of like the Tony's, brown white pepper. So I'm going to put some white pepper in here. Now, keep in mind I've already added some crushed red peppers. Okay. And it's time to check on the black cumin beans over to my left. Now, the thing about Cuban beans is that they have to boil a lot longer than your regular beans. Oh, it's so good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add a little bit of the brown white pepper. See that? To the pot for a taste. A little bit more. On Cumin, you can have pepper. Yes, you can. You just cannot have any onions or garlic. Now, I prefer to use, this is really good. This is Himalayan pink salt. And this is the grinder type of salt. Let's see if you guys can see that. Now, I'm cooking the black bean soup here for an individual who can have salt. So, I'm going to put a little bit of that salt in here. This is an extra fine Himalayan salt. And I'm going to start blending it in. And the soup is only going to have, oh, Himalayan pink salt, guys, is the absolute best. OMG! With the brown white pepper and the Himalayan salt, I'm telling you, you will not miss the other seasonings. Okay, I'm going to be right back shortly with more of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. This is my teaser. Heart healthy has never been so wonderfully delicious. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. I am preparing a black Cuban bean soup using Goya black beans. And I have lowered the heat and I have it on about a 5. Now it's time to cover the pot, because now we want the black bean soup to boil until we get the creaminess. I'm going to take a look at the black-eyed peas again and make sure that you constantly stir your beans, otherwise they can stick at the bottom of your pot depending upon the type of pot. But I'm using a pretty good pot right here. Stir it very nicely. Okay, so when I come back, I am going to start grilling on top of the stove some skinless chicken breast. Okay, everyone, I am back. This is JuLa Ducray. I am getting ready to grill some skinless chicken breast, and I'm just about finished preparing the chicken for the grill. You're about to see in a moment that I have removed all of the fat off of the chicken breast, and it's really beautiful. And I'm gonna put the other piece in here. Okay, so I separated one whole breast. Let's get this tiny piece of fat off. I do not like fat on the chicken. Okay, so I have prepared 2 skinless breasts. I have to wash my hands because chicken can contain salmonella. And I am going to check on my black-eyed peas. Oh yes, really nice. Very nice. And I'm going to check on my black bean soup. The black beans are boiling very beautifully. Don't be afraid to make a tad bit of a mess on your stove. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. It is time to cover. It is time to cover the pot of the black-eyed peas. Let me get the right cover. There we go. I'm going to put a cover. And then I'm going to get some white ground pepper. And I'm going to be adding some brown pepper. Oh, I just made a little mess right here, but that's okay. And And then I'm going to, and believe it or not, the white pepper is not spicy, but it's got really, really good flavor. There we go. Now, keep in mind that I am preparing 2 separate meals for 2 different people. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the breasts and I'm going to be adding, let's move this over right here. I'm going to be adding a little bit of ground pink Himalayan salt. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good. I've started adding my white pepper to both skinless chicken breasts because I'm going to be grilling some skinless chicken breasts today. I've already turned on the stove, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with one of these breasts. I'm cooking 2 separate meals for 2 different people, and one of those persons is on warfarin, which is a blood thinner, so they can only have some salt and pepper, because warfarin, known as Cuban, which is the brand name, can affect the way the medication works in your body if you have too much vitamin K. So that's what they look out for, vitamin K. Over here, I'm only going to be adding, in addition to the white ground pepper, some Italian seasonings. It's going to be so good. Italian seasonings. Okay. I've got some garlic powder. Gotta have some garlic powder. There we go. We have a little ground cumin because everything is salt free for this particular skinless chicken breast. And then I'm going to do the bottom side. It doesn't matter the order in which you put it. This is Italian seasonings. I usually make my own when time permits, but for the purposes of this teaser, I'm not going to do that. Some more garlic powder, and I'm going to add a little bit more cumin. Cumin is used in Eastern dishes, like East Indian dishes. They love to use a lot of cumin and turmeric, and if I'm not mistaken, turmeric is also found in cumin. So we're going to take these to the stove, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Next, I am going to add some extra virgin olive oil to my pan. There we go, not too much. And all I can say is trust your judgment. While that heats up, it is time for me to check on my black beans. They have literally come to an amazing boil. Just an absolute amazing boil. This is going to be so good. Now typically, I would put lots of Creole seasonings in there. Lots of shallots, onions, bell pepper, fresh chopped garlic, and a few other little special blends of herbs. But for the purposes of today, I've only added white ground black pepper and a finely ground pink Himalayan salt. It is time to check on the black-eyed peas. Yes. Let's take a look, guys. Let's take a look. Oh, look at this. These black-eyed peas, I would say, are pretty much done. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see these black-eyed peas. These black-eyed peas, look at that. Just look at these black-eyed peas. They are pretty much done. And you don't want them too liquidy, but you don't want them too thick, because when they start to cool off, they thicken on their own. So what I'm going to do for the black-eyed peas, just look at the black-eyed peas. Now you can add fresh ground turkey to the black-eyed peas if you like. You can add fresh ground meat if you want to. You can add sausage to it if that's your preference. But today I'm not. I'm not going to add any of those things because I'm also going to be making for my dad some macaroni and cheese. Okay, so I've lowered the heat and now I'm just going to let the black eyed peas simmer. Over here, I can hear the oil in the pan. Oh yes. So I'm going to turn that heat down just a smidgen, and it's time for me to add the chicken breast. This is JuLa Dupree. I'm back. Okay, this is the chicken breast that has no salt, and I'm going to be using some of my favorite rolling panko breadcrumbs. These are my favorite Japanese breadcrumbs, and I'm just going to be pouring just a little bit, mixing a little bit before I put it in the hot skillet. Okay, add just a little bit more breadcrumbs right over here. Now, because this is a teaser, as you can see, I'm not trying to be fancy, okay? I'm just trying to show you guys how I prepare the best heart-healthy meals. The only thing that it does not have is salt, other than the natural salt contents. But keep in mind that you still can have some of the same delicious foods before you had to change your lifestyle. And if you notice, I'm sticking the breast with my pitchfork. The purpose of doing that is so that when it cooks, I'm going to sear it first, and then I'm going to turn the heat back up. So here we go. And it's nice and hot, and I'm going to turn the heat back up, medium. It is cooking in extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to cook it until it browns. But what I'm doing right now is that I'm searing the chicken breast. Then some extra virgin olive oil. Now, if I were in a professional production kitchen other than in my kitchen, I would have more counter space. But sometimes in life, you have to work with the hand that you're dealt. It's time to check the black eyed peas, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo. Let's zoom this in. Let's zoom the black eyed peas. Look at the black eyed peas. Look at this, folks. It's time to turn the heat off. And I'm going to show you guys a little trick in a moment regarding what to do if your beans thicken a little too much. But I'm only going to use a little bit of this trick because we do not want to overdo it. The chicken is still, you see that? You see that? Do not turn the chicken over yet. It's still doing its thing. Okay? It's still doing its thing. And make sure you keep saturating it in that wonderful extra virgin olive oil. This is called searing the chicken. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to come back in a moment and I'm going to show you what to do if your beans thicken a little bit too much. Okay, I'm back. I've got some Ozarka natural spring water. So whenever you cook beans, you have to constantly wash your pot unless you are going to slow cook it. But just in case your beans should thicken up a little bit, you get a bottle of cold water, add just a smidgen, just a little bit of cold water to the pot of hot beans. Turn the burner back on to like a boiling heat. Okay? You guys see that? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. And what the cold bottled water does is it stops it from overcooking. And it also helps to make it creamier. And there you have it. Black-eyed peas. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover my pot and I'm going to lower my heat. I'm going to put it on a number 3. I cook a lot, folks. I cook a lot. So I'm searing the chicken and it's time to flip it over. You guys see that? Do you see this? Beautiful. You want to roll it, saturate it very well, and then extra virgin olive oil. This is how you sear a chicken breast. Now it's time to check on. Now don't be afraid if your stove gets a little dirty, you know. Don't be afraid because you can always clean that up. This is what I'm talking about. These are the black beans. You see that? These are the black beans and they're finally starting to bust. You see that? They're actually doing what I want them to do. I am going to take some of this natural spring water and I'm going to add the remaining contents into the pot with the black beans, and I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit under high and cover the pot back up. So when we return, I will be flipping my skinless chicken breast over. Keep it right here. This is JuLa Ducray. You are watching JuLa Can't Cook New Orleans. This is my teaser, where heart healthy has never tasted so good. Look at that. Okay, this is JuLa Ducray. I'm back. It is time for me to check on my skinless chicken breast. Oh, yes, guys. See, right now, it's not ready to be turned over. So we're going to allow this chicken breast to continue doing this thing. Next over, I am preparing the pan with the skinless chicken that only has Himalayan fine pink grated salt with some white brown pepper. This is so good. This is so good. Let's get back to the black-eyed peas. Remember I added some cold water, just a little bit of cold water. Now it's time to turn the burner off. You guys see that? And then you're gonna give it a good stir. Now, what I like to do at the very end, I like to add a little bit more of extra virgin olive oil. So what I like to do, as I stated earlier, at the end of cooking my black-eyed peas, I like to add a little bit of the extra virgin olive oil in the pot. And it really helps with the consistency. Do you guys see that? And just kind of stir it in there. It's going to give it a beautiful consistency. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Black-eyed peas. These are JuLa Ducray's Creole black-eyed peas. Now it's time to check on the chicken. It is time to check on chicken number 1. Very, very nice. And just maybe a minute or 2, this chicken will be ready. Now, over in pan number 2, my stove is literally covered, as you guys can see. JuLa Can't Cook, my stove is literally covered. This is my mess, but I'm prepared for a cleanup. So I'm just going to show you guys my stove so you guys can see that I literally am cooking it on the stove. So it is time for me to begin adding my skinless chicken breast number 2 to the pan. And I'm not going to sear that one in breadcrumbs. I'm just gonna go ahead and just grill it top of the stove. And you definitely want to be very, very careful. You want to make sure that you do not overcook your chicken. And I'm just using a knife, and you just kind of put, pluck that with the knife. Make that all the juices of the olive oil gets into the chicken breast. Now let's take a look at the Cuban beans, black beans, for a minute. Let's take a look. Very, very good. These beans take a very, very long time because they are not from the same family as the black-eyed peas and the red beans, but they are so wonderfully delicious and very, very nutritious. So I'll be right back with more of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good. Look at that, guys. Look at that. This is my teaser. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I am back. It is time to check on the skinless chicken breast. And I would say that this chicken is ready to be eaten, so I'm going to be turning the burner off. This chicken number 1. Look at that. You'll see that? Very, very, very juicy. Very, very juicy. And then it's time to check over here on the grilled skinless. I like to use my knife to check and to also flip when I'm not using any breadcrumbs. Do the same thing over on this side as well. Just kind of stick it with your knife a little bit. So it'll stick through it good. You definitely want to stick it with your knife. Get it everywhere so it'll stick through it good. Okay? I'm going to check on these Cuban beans once more. As I said, these are Goya. Look, I'm not even using a regular spoon because I like to grab beans. I like to look at the consistency. These beans take about 3 hours to cook down very, very well. When I eat a black bean soup, I do not like my beans hard. I recall one time going to a restaurant in New Orleans. They were preparing black bean soup. Those beans were so hard, they were like raw, they were hard. I was so upset, so disappointed, because number one, I was expecting to get some really good Cuban beans, and they were not. So do not judge food based upon the ethnic background of the people who are preparing those dishes. Because everybody cannot cook, just like everybody cannot fish. Okay, I'm back, and I'm about to taste my chicken. It's thoroughly cooked, very juicy. Oh my God. So delicious. Over here, I'm gonna check my other breast. Very nice and tender, look. Nice and tender. I'm gonna let it cook on its side for 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna flip it over. In the meantime, I'm getting ready to boil some rice in my rice cooker. I normally cook it the old-fashioned way, but today, I think I'm gonna use my rice cooker. Because a girl can do whatever she wants to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. It's time to turn the skinless chicken breast over. Nice and juicy. Browning very beautifully. And I'm getting ready to put my rice in the rice cooker. I normally cook my rice the old-fashioned way, but today I don't feel like it, so I'll be right back. And so we are back. I'm going to be adding 2 cups of long grain rice to my rice cooker. 2 cups. And then I'm just gonna put the cover over it. I'm gonna let it do its thing. When I come back, folks, we're gonna have black-eyed peas. What is this? Is that a grain of rice? I have such OCD. There we go. So that's just the grain of rice. So when I come back, we're gonna have black-eyed peas as well as panko bread crusted skinless chicken breast. But before I do that, it's time to check on my skinless grilled chicken breast. Now this is some chicken. That chicken is ready. This chicken is ready right here, folks. Just take a look on it. It is definitely ready. And you definitely don't want to overcook your skinless chicken breast. Now is the taste time. The only thing that I added was Himalayan fine pink salt and also some fine ground white pepper. Let's taste it. Oh my God. This is so good. This is so good. This is JuLa Ducre. I'm back. I think I just had my hand over the camera. I just wanted to show you guys the black beans. I've added more water because the beans are not boiled yet, and I'm adding just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Now, if you recall, I told you that it takes about 3 hours to make black bean soup. Here they are. Okay, it's time to check on the black beans. They are cooking down nicely, and this is really just about the consistency that I want for the black bean soup. And what I like to do, I do mash my beans. I don't know if anybody told you that it's okay to mash your beans. I mash my Cuban black beans because I still like to have a little slight crunch, but not like a crunch when I'm eating black bean soup. And you see what mashing it does? So just keep mashing it. These beans have been cooking on the stove since 12 p.m. today, Central Time. If you recall, I said it takes about 3 hours to make black bean soup. And this is what you do right before. And when I went to a quick break, I added just a little bit, like a teaspoon of crushed red peppers, just to give a little bit more spicy kick. I am Creole, and we do love our spice. Yes, we do. So what you do, all you have to do is just do this. And I didn't use a big pot like I did for the black-eyed peas. And speaking of the black-eyed peas, folks, I have got to show you what the black-eyed peas look like. Look, remember I told you to add a half a cup of cold water when the bean starts to thicken, and then let it simmer. This is the reason why. This is the consistency that you want when cooking black-eyed peas. This is one of the main reasons why people do not like to eat black-eyed peas, because a lot of people don't know how to cook black-eyed peas, okay? A lot of people cook black-eyed peas and it's like watery. No. That's not black-eyed peas to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this heat down just a little bit, and I'm gonna allow these beans to simmer now. I have it on a number 2. In the meantime, I was able to clean my stovetop. I was able to do that. Cooking clean. See, everything is nice and clean and very, very, very nice clean stove. I'm just not down with people wanting to serve me any food from a filthy stove. I just cannot do it. Now this is the consistency that I want for my black bean soup, and it's pretty much ready. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn the fire off. Let's get all the beans. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, mama. Come on, mama. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Ah, baby. Let's get it on. There we go. Let's love, baby. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead. And I'm going to let these beans simmer. You can add a little bit more olive oil to it if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm going to let it simmer for 3 minutes, and then when I come back, we're going to serve. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. JuLa Ducre's homemade black bean Cuban soup. I love the consistency. Very, very good. The only thing that I've added are some super fine pink Himalayan salt, which is the purest salt on the planet, as well as some extra fine ground white pepper, and just a little bit, just a tad bit, a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. This is my pot, and I've got some fresh wheat bread over here. I'm gonna get a little bit into my bowl right over here. Get a little bit more. This is what black bean soup looks like, and I prepared it all in my kitchen. This is not in my professional studio. I prepared this at my home because I wanted you guys to see the real deal. Okay? It's not often that you get to see behind the scenes. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pour myself some black-eyed peas. I'm going to have a piece of my panko skinless chicken breast. And I also have some skinless pan-fried chicken breast for my dad. Keep it right here. This is JuLa Ducre. This is my teaser. And you can see the real deal. Just a little bit. I haven't even wiped it yet. I wanted you guys to see exactly what goes into preparing a delicious meal from the one and only JuLa Can't Cook. This is my teaser. Okay, folks, I like to call this my snack pack. I cut some fresh corn. This is fresh corn off the cob. And this, see over here, this is the chicken that I grilled, skinless chicken breast, and I'm gonna have that with my black bean soup. Okay, it's time to check on the rice. Nice, very nice. I'm gonna get some of this good rice. A little bit of that rice, not too much. I'm not really a big white rice eater. I ran out of my brown rice. So today, I ran out of the brown rice. So today I'm going with white rice. And I'm gonna go ahead and get some of my delicious black-eyed peas. Yeah. talking about. It's good black-eyed peas. Yummy. That's it. This is it, folks. There you have it. JuLa Ducre's black-eyed peas, black bean soup. I've had some seared skinless chicken breast and painful skinless chicken breast. Be on the lookout for the all-new JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good.